2 weeks down, one more to go of OTAs, and here to talk about the Broncos, ESPN senior writer Jeff Legwold. And we're excited to announce you're going to be making more appearances with us.
Yeah, if that's a good thing, yes.
It's definitely a good thing. Don't believe that. Let's talk about what you have seen in the last 2 weeks from the Broncos. What has stood out at OTAs?
Well, I think it's pretty clear the guys on defense are doing something they're very familiar with, and the guys on offense are not. So it's no accident that most of these practices, the defense has come off looking far better than the offense. And honestly, I think it's affecting people's opinions of what's going on out there. I think they've done good things offensively, and I think they will be improved. But it's hard to notice that because, A, you have an elite defense, a top 5 defense in almost every category, going against an offense that's learning its third playbook in 4 years. So I don't think people should take too much away from the offense right now, but the defense should be very, very good if they keep everybody healthy.
So maybe once we get to training camp, if the offense isn't looking up to par, then maybe we can talk a little bit more about that.
I think you get all the way through the preseason. I mean, this is a big playbook. Mike McCoy has no shortage of plays. The verbiage, the play calls are very long. They've turned back the clock a little bit. It's kind of the play calls they had when Josh McDaniels was the coach, and even Mike Shanahan in some regards. So it's a lot to learn, and you've got guys wrestling with it. And when the coaches say they're swimming, they're not lying. I mean, their heads are spinning right now.
Well, everybody wants to talk about the quarterback competition. It's hard to judge, though, because as you admitted, this is a new offense. Those guys look like they're swimming. But what have you seen, even though it's early, from both Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch?
I see better footwork from Paxton, but Trevor's far more comfortable with what he's doing right now. So I think that's where they're at. I think Trevor overall, because he started so many games last year and has played in a more traditional type of offense in college and has the experience with 1 year of Peyton Manning, I think it's natural that he's ahead. I believe he's ahead right now. If it was a fair comparison, objective, I think he's ahead. But Paxton is more comfortable with his footwork. He's still got to get better at what he's looking at in the middle of the field. I don't think he's always comfortable with the coverages and things he sees between the numbers, which is natural. That's not something they asked him to do in college. He did not have a quarterbacks coach in college. And, oh, guess what? He's playing a secondary with 4 Pro Bowl players in it. You're not going to look great against the Broncos secondary in workouts with no pads or, line play in front of you.
You mentioned the term fair competition, if you will. If it's even, who gets the nod?
Right now, it would be Trevor. But, again, they're not competing right now. Again, that's a misnomer, too. A lot of people have approached it as, every pass they throw is a competition. The coaches aren't looking at it like that. Now, when they come back in July, then they're competing. Right now, they're showing how much they can learn, how much they can retain, how they do in meetings. That kind of stuff is being evaluated. But their play on the field won't be evaluated until July and August.
Let's talk about this defense. You mentioned it. They are flying around the field out at practice. A lot of that has to do with the retention, keeping Joe Woods as the defensive coordinator. Obviously, it's been sort of a seamless transition. He's added a few different wrinkles. But a bit of news this week with Shaq Barrett's injury. How might that affect the Broncos, and then how might it affect Shaq?
I think, I had seen him a couple times this offseason where he trains, and he looked very good. I think he was poised to really give himself a chance for playing time. He played about, 30%, 26, 27% of the snaps last year on defense. I think he was looking to up that a little bit. But I think overall, Shane Ray and Von Miller will be on the field more together than Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware were because of Ware's age and back injuries. I think they look at Ray as a potential 3-down player as well if they need him to be. So I think the rotation's going to be a little different. And the rookie, DeMarcus Walker, is going to be in that rotation. So this is a big injury for Shaq Barrett. And they expect him to be back by training camp at some point. Is that it right when it opens, a couple weeks in? Don't think they know that yet, but it didn't need surgery, so he can rehab and he'll be ready to go.
One of those things, the embarrassment of riches, nice for the team, but maybe not the best thing for the individual when you're talking about Shaq Barrett. Jeff Legwold, dropping knowledge as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.